let's say you want to be this type of warrior. Well, when do you want to be that warrior? Is it 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 1 month from now, 1 year from now? Now, if you're going to choose something 1 year away, I suggest breaking it up into smaller chunks, let's say. Hey there, NAC Warriors. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Super excited again for another episode of NAC Daily Health, or the NAC Warrior Show. I guess that's what I should call it, the NAC Warrior Show. That's what I'm going to call it going forward here. That's what I decided anyways. So today we are going to be talking about a specific tip. And again, remember how I talked about doing the different things, the principles, fundamentals, and personal journey. So this particular one actually relates to a fundamental to the NAC Warrior roadmaps. And not only that, it is a principle that could be used in other areas. And not just recently, now that we're getting to the end of the year, a lot of New Year's resolution questions are coming out. And what are we going to do to improve ourselves next year? And that's sort of like the thing, right? All the way until probably within the first month of January. And it's a good question, of course. And a lot of people get hung up on, let's say the surfacey stuff that I keep talking about. And I talk a lot about your why and your let's say the belief systems, the mentality that you have with health and fitness. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about today. Because if there was like two things I could talk about and just give you and say, hey, you can only give people two tips. One would be about, having the proper mindset. But the other one would be to have a proper future. And we call this the new NAC Warrior. And what we're always trying to do is go after that new NAC Warrior. And as I was, getting these questions in from, especially from ClickFunnels, Newbies ClickFunnels 2, which is a group that I'm part of in my journey to create great businesses. And one of the questions that came up was, what kind of things are we going to do? What are the habits we're going to have in 2023? And it's a good, valid question, especially where we're trying to keep becoming better individuals who can serve the individuals that we're here to serve. And so this is the main part of the group, is like, how do we become better and bigger in serving you here, the listeners here? And we get let's just say we are part of a bigger group, but we created a smaller group, or one was created and I'm part of that. And it's really important to be part of these groups, because in that group, you are working with each other and really striving to become better individuals. And it's like probably, it's one of the 4 pillars that I talk about in being for health and fitness success. And it's a principle, because we need this support system to keep pushing us. But although you have these support systems, you can't just rely on them, because they can't do the work for you. So what's the work that you need to do? And in order to answer that question, what work do we need to do? We first need to understand, who do we want to become? And in our NAC Warrior roadmaps, the last part of that roadmap is, what is your future NAC Warrior? How do we get there? What are they doing day in and day out? And again, from an individual perspective, it's like, who do I want to be? And it's all tied to the principle, to the fundamentals, and to the individual journey, this one question. Same with your belief system. So when we talk about who do we want to be, we have to think about not just health and fitness, but in other areas of our lives if we want to improve. If we like where we are, or we're in a season where some things can't change, or we want to focus particularly on one aspect of our different parts of our roles in our lives, then we need to figure out what those are going to be and what does that person look like, right? What are they doing and who are they? And we need to start visualizing them. And not only that, but we sort of have to become them. So, from a health and fitness perspective, which is what I'm going to zone in on for today, is who do you want to be and when? And there's these goals, right? You got the SMART goals. I have the SMARTY goals, but we want to use SMART goals, SMART, because that's a general guideline on how to create the goals or the future self. So you look at, let's say you want to be this type of warrior. Well, when do you want to be that warrior? Is it 1 week from now, 2 weeks from now, 1 month from now, 1 year from now? Now, if you're going to choose something 1 year away, I suggest breaking it up into smaller chunks, let's say. So instead of just saying 1 year from now, this is who I want to be, we want to break it down into smaller chunks. Like 1 month from now, I want to have honed in my food. And what does that look like, right? Is it maybe 2 foods you want to cut out and replace it with 2 other foods? Or you just want to cut out this food, let's say it's a sugar supplement or some type of supplement you're adding to something, maybe you just want to reduce that. Whatever that is, when is that occurring? And then you can create these small, easy, manageable things or beacons to gradually get you to at the end of the year. If you just choose something out for the year, it's too, in my mind, and maybe you operate differently, it's just too vast of a span to say in the end of 2023, this is where I want to be. And instead, maybe chop it up into 12 different blocks and then say, okay, here's month 1. What am I going to accomplish in month 1? And what are the habits that I need to build starting today to make sure that I accomplish habit number 1? And so when we look at our NAC Warrior, our future one, that's what we want to figure out is what are they doing? How are they acting? What's their mindset? How are they talking to you, right? What's their why? All these different things, and we have the whole entire NAC Warrior roadmap that we have to review when we go to figure out how do we build that. So you get the end and you say, okay, here's who I want to be, and then you build the entire roadmap to get there, right? You're at point A, and we want to get to point B, and maybe we have C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z, and that's the end of the month. And each one builds upon each other. You can stack them, but I typically, for health and fitness, because it typically is an easy one to put as a sort of deprioritize in your life, it's so much easier to choose simple, small things to happen that you will develop over a year. If you try to do too much all at once, and as soon as you start falling off let's say the path, it's very easy to just get lost and not get back on the path. So what we want to do in health and fitness is to really make sure, especially if you haven't put it first and you yo-yo diet, this is definitely, or you just get busy in your life, which happens if you're an entrepreneur, very busy out there. You need to figure out how to create these small wins, right? Whereas maybe for our, trying to build a business or trying to become a better server to the individuals that you're trying to reach and change their lives, that might be more of a massive change, right? Bigger things that we want to make happen, because one, that's our driving force. For some of you, health and fitness is I don't really want to do it, right? It's just something that I have to do. If I could, I'd snap my fingers. And this is a question I ask people. If I could snap my fingers and you'd be healthy and fit, would you actually exercise? If your answer is no, then that means that's like not a priority for you. And that's not saying that's a good or bad thing. It just means that if you start trying to focus on health and fitness and you have been on this path where you're like doing it, then you stop, then let's be realistic with each other and just say, unless you're going to make health and fitness a priority, and I'm talking top 3 priority, then make it easy for you to win. And don't try to become a super warrior by the end of 1 year, but instead try to become a better version of you by the end of the year by changing these smaller habits or different things that are a lot manageable and that won't consume your time. Because if you're thinking, oh, I have to exercise an hour and or 30 minutes or more, then guess what? That's very easy to get distracted, especially if you've got meetings and things you're trying to put together. But instead, if you're like, well, maybe I'll drink one less cup of coffee, I'll have less sugar, whatever. That's easier to manage and doesn't require a lot of time. It's just something you can do and slowly change a habit. And again, start small and gradually build it up over time. So that's it. That's what I have for today, for today's episode. And next Wednesday, if you're a gold member, next Wednesday, we are going to be doing a live showing in our Facebook group of the NAC Warrior battles. And if you want to learn more about that, jump in our Facebook group, NAC Warriors. And with that, I will see you tomorrow. And actually, the link to that, NAC Warriors, is down below, as well as our Quick Health distribution list if you want to be on that, which is just I post a workout a day. It's 10 seconds to 1 minute, and I'll send that directly to you, either email or text. So with that, I will see you tomorrow, probably 12 p.m. Eastern. Have a good day, everybody.